Hello and welcome to Lisa T Creations. I'm the Lisa behind the Lisa T Creations, and whether you are a returning subscriber or brand new to the channel, I welcome you here. The video today is going to be a Fabric 101, or maybe I should say Fabric 2.0, because last video in the beginner series we talked about the different ways you could buy fabric. In this particular video, we are going to talk about some different types of fabric. And so I have a lot to talk about today, so I am just going to dive right in. So I'm going to start with just the basic kind of fabric. And it is just about universal. You could use this for quilting, you could use this for bag making, you could use it for clothes, and that universal fabric is called, it's cotton. Cotton is all natural fibers. It can be used for just about anything. Quilters use it for piecing. I use it for tote bags and making purses and the little zipper bags that I make. I prefer to use 100% cotton for those, but you don't have to. So I have some examples, and this is a print. It's 100% cotton, but it's a print. And then cotton can also come in a solid, like this pink is a 100% cotton solid, and just about any color in the rainbow. And there are so many fabric designs. It is so much fun to shop for fabric, and there are so many different designs and so many different patterns that I love this 100% cotton. At Walmart, and probably just about any other fabric store, quilting stores mainly stock 100% cotton fabric, but you can get this, and this one happens to be a 2-yard bolt. This is the Walmart brand. This is a poly cotton blend, and it means that it's 65% polyester and 35% cotton. A lot of times when you have it unfolded and you put it side by side with a piece of regular cotton fabric, it's almost indistinguishable. That's not to say that it is completely indistinguishable. Cotton has a different shrinkage rate than polyester blends do. And if you're using poly cotton to quilt, all your fabric will need to be poly cotton just because of the differing shrinkage rates. The other thing, anything polyester will melt faster than a 100% cotton, and so if you put it in a microwave and make a bowl cozy out of it, it's going to melt in the microwave. So you definitely do not want to use anything polyester in the microwave, because it will melt. Because essentially polyester is a plastic fiber, and that's why. So that is all for polyester. Now there is something called, I just have a little swatch of this, so I'm going to hold it up where you can see. This is what the front looks like. It's very soft. The back kind of looks like something like this. This particular piece of velvet it is for furniture coverings. Velvet for clothes is a lot softer and a lot less coarse on the back than this. But so there are two forms of velvet. There's the kind of velvet that you can use in clothing, and then there's also this kind of velvet that works well for upholstery. So it can be either or. It is very very similar in nature to satin. I don't have any satin in my fabric stash, so I can't really show you satin, but they are similar kind of fabrics. And basically you use the velvet for like upholstery or making clothes. It's generally not something that you put in a purse or a quilt. You don't really quilt with velvet. I have this velvet because it was given to me in a stash of recycled fabric. So I have some on hand. So the next one, it's called Olyfun, OLY-fun, and this is probably the cheapest, most inexpensive piece of fabric you're ever going to see. It's not something I particularly use unless I'm going to use it to line a tote bag or something, that like a beach tote bag. It has, I'm not sure if the camera can pick it up, but it looks like little holes. It's a woven type fabric. It's mainly used for crafting things. It's not something you use to make bags out of or clothing. It's just a craft fabric in general. But I have it in my possession. I'm not sure how I ended up with that particular kind of fabric, but I have it. So the next fabric is kind of like I believe it's called ducking, or it can be kind of canvasy, and that's this right here. It's a more coarser material. It's a heavier duty material. This is what it looks like on the back side, so they're very similar from side to side. And this heavy duty fabric is again used for, it can be used for upholstery or drapery, anything where you need a really thick heavy fabric for. It's generally not used for quilting, but it is good for making bags because you don't have to use interfacing as much for this type of fabric, because it is a very heavy duty fabric. And so the next I have a lot of yardage, and I didn't want to cut any of this yardage off, but this is it's just a knitting. This let me go back to this one for a second. This can be 100% cotton, but it's, I'm sure it's also available in a polyester type material as well. I'm pretty sure the swatch I have is 100% cotton. Unlike this webbing, let me put that up. You can see that those holes in the webbing really good when I put it up close. This is made for like putting cup holders and stuff in backpacks, or to make the back of the backpack a little breathable. That's what I used it for. It is a synthetic fiber. It isn't. This one is not 100% cotton. It is used mainly for bags and where you need knitting. It's not something you're gonna crochet with or make clothes with. So the next fabric that I'm going to show you, I'll probably revisit this one when it comes time to do the video for the interfacing. But this is I wrote PLU, but it's actually PUL, and it's a polyurethane, and I can't remember what the L is. It's a compound material that is made, laminate, that's what the L is for. Polyurethane laminate. It is made by laminating cloth with a thin layer of polyurethane. And this particular fabric is used primarily for making waterproof things. You can put it in baby diapers. You can put it in lunch pails. This is what the outside of that looks like. It's it looks kind of like polyester to me. And then, but the inside of it has this kind of plastic. I'm not sure if the camera is picking that up, but it's kind of a plastic lining. And they're not 100% waterproof, but they are, it does help with waterproofing. So therefore they have a number of really good uses, but primarily they're used for diapers and lunch bags and things of that nature. So if you have spills, it's not going to leak to the outside. And it's basically an inner lining and not really seen from the outside. But it's a very specific kind of fabric that you can't find just anywhere. I had to go to Joann's to get this particular yardage, and then unfortunately I think the Joann, well, y'all go look up Joann's and see if all the stores closed, because I'm a little confused about that. But it's a little bit harder to find that particular kind of fabric when you're looking for it, and you'll have to do a search engine search for it, because it's not something that every quilt store is going to carry, because you don't really use it for quilting. It's a very specific kind of fabric. So the next thing I'm going to talk about, oh, I have a little piece, so let me get the little piece. It's felt, and felt is, it's another one of those specialty fabrics that you can buy these in squares. You can do a lot of crafting with them, but this is what felt looks like. This particular felt is really thin, and it's very flexible. So it's more like a fabric sheet, and this particular one feels a lot like flannel. This is not flannel though, and so it's felt is more or less something that you use for crafting and not something that you're going to put in a quilt. You may make costumes out of felt, but it's not something you're going to quilt with. It's just a crafting fabric. It has multiple uses, but for the most part it is not made for quilting or clothes making, maybe just costumes. Now this next one, I have no clue what it's called. I call it faux leather because it looks like leather on the inside, but it has this polyester lining on the back side. This is very difficult to sew with. It's something that you're going to use for fabric upholstery or for crafting costumes out of, but it is not something that you're going to incorporate into a quilt or article of clothing. It's got very specific uses in that it's not made for quilting with. It's not even made for making bags with. So, but I have used it to make bags with, and I can tell you from personal experience that it's very hard to sew with a sewing machine. Now, if you're going to hand sew it, that's something entirely different. So the next one is just, this is terry cloth. It is what your average, I mean, you use the terry cloth for toweling. I use them I make little washable face eye makeup removers and face wash pads that you can throw in the washing machine and wash. And so that's what I make mine out of. But you know, you can use it to make your own towels. Now normally this has more visible looping, terry cloth does, and this particular terry cloth is 100% cotton, and this is just, you know, it's toweling material, and that's what you use terry cloth for. And then I have one more to show you after this that I'll have to grab right fast. But this is, the next one is called, it's a flour sack towel. These are usually 100% cotton. It's a woven fabric. These were, in here some interesting trivia that I found when I was looking up the history of flour sack towels. In the late 19th century to the mid 20th century, these were actually cotton bags that were filled with flour and other goods. Women in that time frame made dresses out of these. And but for modern day purposes, we usually use them for toweling or drawstring bags. I use them for drawstring bags. I haven't really made any toweling, but this is what a flour sack towel looks like. It's a very thin, this one is a very thin woven material. It wrinkles super easy, and it's very hard to get the wrinkles out of this stuff. But I use it to make drawstring bags. The idea with those drawstring bags is when you go bulk shopping, rather than putting everything in a plastic bag, you can make your own flour sack towels. And if you can't make your own, I have some in my shop. But you can use these flour sack drawstring bags at the bulk container store or the bulk store to put your bulk flour in, or your bulk nuts, whatever you want, and they don't weigh that much, so it's not an impractical way of getting all of those bulk goods home, because, you know, it weighs next to nothing. So let me scoot over here and get this last thing. And the last thing, this I'm sure it is 100% cotton. I'm not sure, like, on the one side this fabric is really shiny, and then on the other side it's kind of matte, and you use the shiny side. Now this, I'm sure this is 100% polyester, because silk is really expensive, and this type of material is not, it's not really used for quilting. It's silk and this kind of satiny polyester fabric. It's used more for making clothes or some kind of a special occasion garment. It's not really used for making bags or quilting. But I have this, and I couldn't tell you how I ended up with this piece of satin. I think I bought it to take pictures of things that were too light to put on a black background or a white background, and this makes a perfect background for those really light colored items. So that is the last a piece of fabric that I have to show you. If you have any questions about any of those things, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. And if you've made it this far, I appreciate your time and attention, and I invite you again to subscribe to the channel and help me grow, and like the video if you like what you saw, and hit that bell button so when I upload my next video you'll be sure to catch it. And again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time.